Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and welcome to 10,000 and Below, where we take a look at games that are ranked quite low on Board Game Geek, 10,000 or less, and we just take a look at them and see what we think. Now, as you might have noticed if you've been following me through this series, this is the 17th video in this series, and as I do these videos, I have to take breaks in between recording them. And during those breaks, which could sometimes be several days, many games will have shifted. The games are constantly shifting, and as you get down farther in the bottom, they're going to be shifting a lot. So you might see some of the games you've seen before. I can't think of any way around it other than recording everything in a straight 200-hour period, in which case I might die. So here we go. I say that because the very first one here we've already looked at a little bit. That's Risky Adventures, but we always take a look at the first and the last one here. Risky Adventure here, a dice rolling game about getting artifacts, and I was really pumped about this when I saw it. Queen normally does a fantastic job, but in this particular game, this one just did not work out very well for me, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's too bad. Then we got Dungeons & Dragons Chainmail. This is from 2001. It's a miniatures game using D20, using stuff from the player's handbook. Well, go figure, I've never really even done anything with this. There's been a lot of different ways to take D&D and make it a miniatures game that have been done throughout the years, and I guess this is one of those. I wasn't really playing a lot of hobby games in 2001. I was busy playing Warhammer, I think, in 2001. Well, alrighty, then I've already talked about Seasons, the calendar rummy game, and it's a rummy game that has different things happening in seasons. It's okay. Jumping down here, we have Caprice. This came out in 1999, and again, through the magic of games changing and ranking, I talked about this before, saying it looked like a pretty interesting abstract strategy game. Here's one called Jailbreak, which looks kind of like a Carcassonne style game. That police officer looked like he escaped from a 1930s cartoon. A spaghetti junction game of cops and robbers. This is from Waddington. So when did this game come out? I said 1982. I guess you're just trying to connect the different roads together and try to... 6 convicts and 6 police cars are chasing them. And it's 2 players or 2 teams. You don't want to get caught. Okay, that seems like a decent game. I mean, like an older version of something like Suro. Letter Roll, a pun of a name. This is Round of the Box Publishing, a company that's no longer around any longer. And you are writing. There's 3 letters. You roll them, and you have to have words that show those 3 letters in them. Okay. Yes, I remember playing this, and I thought it was fine. Not spectacular, but a fine party game. Oh, this one's just called Mwahahahaha from 2008. Has some really cool things there. Resource management. I wonder why this... Oh, it's from White Wolf Entertainment. Those are really cool looking dice, although hard to read. Cool artwork. Again, I've not heard of this one, so... Ex Machina, I talked about that one. This one is a game about making your own machine. Safe Breaker is the one that we saw in the past. Let's get down to something new here. Well, here's Okinawa, the Bloodiest Battle of the Pacific Ocean. This one has 95 ratings, 2 general maps while they're taking place on an island. Surprise techniques, degree of difficulty 3 out of 6. Wow. Is that like a puzzle piece map? Oh, it's a central piece. Oh, that's interesting to see these older maps have those. Oof. I do not like counters that are attached to other counters. I like my counters to be attached to the board itself. Yeah, this is an older style looking game. Alrighty. The Garlic Vampires. Only 35 ratings for this one, which is from Haba. And you're just trying to move up. I said this was a good one for kids for sure. Moving on up, trying to avoid garlic. It's been a long time since I played that one, I think. When did I review it? 2011. So almost 10 years. Chariot, Tactical Warfare in the Biblical Age. This game's just called Fire. Well, here's one that has 93 ratings, Malacca. Oh, that's an interesting looking game. This is from Brain Games and Loris Games. I don't dislike that cover. Has a very piratey look to it. And very piratey people selling the game. That's the Brain Games one. I think I like the other cover better. I do like Brain Games, but is there any pictures of the actual game itself? Looks like an okay card game. Oh well. I like the cover at least. Alright, we got Sovereign Chess. Wild Fun West. I reviewed this one back in 2013, but unlike many of the games, for some reason I really remember this one. This is one of the first games I played that was from NSKN Games. And this one here does not look like a fantastic game, but it's an auction style game where you're trying to get different buildings. You are trying to get these buildings, and in doing so you get these people. You have these cards here that are hard to see in this picture, but what they're doing is they're showing you the different buildings that you need to get, right, to win the game. And so you're trying to auction off of these different buildings, not sure if someone really wants that building or if they just are pushing it up for whatever reason. It's kind of like a party auction game, and there's not many of those out there. Very esoteric though, and I can see why it's lower on the list. Doctor Who game, only 49 reviews for that one. Dragon's Ransom. Well, that one has 91 ratings, so let's take a look at it, and then we'll take a look at North Pole. Dragon's Ransom. This is from 2015. Although for the life of me, I guess the cover's not too bad. It's a reverse dungeon crawler. Oh, that's non-final artwork, prototype components. Well, that's weird. If that's non-final artwork, then what? Tile leader. It's a solitaire game. You're the master of the dungeon, and you have to stop the heroes. Okay. You know, that's not necessarily a new thing, but oh, North Pole! I like this one here. This is from Cambridge Games Factory. I don't think it's great, but I do like the artwork on it. Cambridge Games Factory, which is no longer in existence, people know them because they're the ones who made Glory of the Rome. And they made these games in these plastic packages here with this artwork and stuff. Again, this probably wouldn't fly today, but at this time, these were pretty fun little games that people played. This one was okay, more of a kid family style game. Like I said, Glory of the Rome was their breakout hit. You Must Be an Idiot. This one I always feel bad that I've not played this one. It came out in 2005 from Stephen Glenn, who makes decent party games, and R&R Games, who makes great party games. And I just haven't played this one. I've heard it's good about it. But I'm actually, everyone tells them the card whether they're an idiot or not. Then you ask a question, everyone writes their answers down, but if you're an idiot, you must answer incorrectly. And it's your job to figure out who's an idiot. If you call someone an idiot who's not, they'll steal your points. I like that concept. I got to get a copy of this. We got to play this one live. That would be fun. All right, Stand at Mortain. This is from 2006. The word stand in a game means it's a war game. It's the pocket battle game from LPS Incorporated. Those aren't bad-looking counters, I'll say that. No, and I don't know I've seen too many counters with decimals. This doesn't look like a very big game. Ooh, they're on wooden blocks. You just use an ordinary deck of cards. Not my style, but I'm sure some people would like this. Looks good. Coral Islands. This one here is actually two different games. There's Coral and there's Islands, and they put them in the same box. They use the same components here. They use these dice. This is Coral, I think. Yeah, this is Coral, but they use different decks of cards. So I'm actually going to be reviewing that. It's over there. My review will be coming out several weeks from now, probably. Clash of the Cards. Spicy Farkle. Not just regular Farkle, but spicy Farkle. 25 words or less. It's a great party game. That's a people, places, and things edition. Ooh, Rummyola. So this is, it looks like a mass market style game. Came out in 1940. Well, it's a mix of poker and rummy. Well, that's an interesting thing. I don't believe I've seen that before. The idea is, ooh, wow. Wow, that is not a great cover. That's not a great cover either. This sounds like this feels like a game I would have found in my grandparents' house. I'm like, what is this? And they're like, I don't know. We never figured out how to play it. The idea of mixing rummy and poker isn't bad, and this one, I guess, it's probably pretty mediocre. That's why it's so lowly rated. Color form. Please tell me that uses color forms. Oh no, just a 3x3 grid of cards. Yeah, okay, never mind. All right, Museum Heist and Soldier King. So Museum Heist, you have these different people and you're moving them around and trying to get your person to steal something. It's an interesting game. It's an older reprint, actually, of an Alex Randolph game. It could have looked better. It's fine. I didn't dislike playing it, but I think it just could have been a better production. As you can see there, that board's not very exciting, and that's why this one hasn't sold very well. Soldier King from 1982. This is from Brad Chadwick, who's really well known for his games. Has your typical counters. Is this a made-up land, or is this an actual island somewhere? A leaderless empire. It's from Game Designer's Workshop. Well, there's the back. The Crimson Throne. All right, so this actually sounds like a made-up land, like a fantasy thing. Well, that's interesting. All right, let's move down. There's Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. That's not out yet, but it's coming this year, hopefully. The Insidious Sevens. Anno Domini. This came out in 1995. This is another one of those games that I've heard about, but not played before. It's a war game for 4 players, but it's a different style. You can see this one looks like it's a little bit lighter. That cover sure looks old, though, but you can see all the little hails there and the cards. This is definitely a game that, if you had shown this to me in the early 2000s, I would have easily played because it looks really interesting. Now, I might be less fascinated by it, but I'm still kind of intrigued by the amount of plastic. It looks like an upgraded Risk of sorts. All right, Travel Battle, Pirates, the card game. Let's move down there. Oh, Super Cats. Have I played Super Cats? I have Super Cats. I must not have played it yet. No, yes, I played it. I reviewed it. It took me a while to realize this. Yeah, Super Cats is a game in which everyone's playing a cat at the same time. And the higher the cat, the better it is. But if you play the same cat as someone else, you don't get to do what you're doing. Eventually, one person wins. Then that person is fighting this giant robo-dog, and everyone else is playing against you. It's a fun little filler, actually. I was pretty surprised by how much I enjoyed it. And I need to give this one a ranking. I want to say it's probably a 7. Cobalt. There's a Cobalt. This is from Queen Games. It's a kids game, and I normally play a lot of Queen kids games, but this one, is this the only picture? Huh. I wonder if this one ever came to America. It's weird. Kids games really get short shrift sometimes on Queen. This one only has 6 comments. The game came out 2 years ago, and there's just simply that one picture. Oh, well. Aquarium. Okay, this one was not necessarily my style. This was from Z-Man Games. It came out while Z-Man was kind of in their transition. I think this is one of the last ones that came from Z-Man when they were owned by Philosophia. And I was pretty excited about a lot of stuff. This one here, collecting fish worth different stars and stuff like that. It did not feel very exciting. I like the artwork. I like the theme of the aquarium, but it didn't really work for me. All right, Baseball Strategy. This one has 213 ratings. Came out in 1960 from Don Greenwood. Now, who's Don Greenwood, you might ask? Well, let's take a look here. Born 1950, developed many popular war games, and worked for Avalon Hill, and is best known for Advanced Squad Leader, Republic of Rome, Age of Renaissance, etc. And here he is making a baseball game. So that's kind of interesting. I'm sure it's probably a fairly complex game, although no, it's wait here, it says it's pretty small on Board Game Geek. There's no names on these people. They're like just a picture and stuff like that. That's too bad. I mean, when you're playing baseball, I want them to have names at least. I've definitely seen that in stores, though, before, like at thrift stores, Baseball Strategy. I do like baseball, and I would certainly probably read the rules for this one. All right, the other hat trick. Moana Kia. This one here has 200 ratings. That's a really pretty cover. This runs from Hook. So let's take a look here. Movement cards, a helicopter. All right, it has little tiles on the board itself. Kind of like a Carcassonne thing. You have a team of 3 to 5 researchers. You're playing cards, moving around. And you just got to survive the volcanic eruption. All right. I'm going to think that one probably never got an English, American release at least. Fate of Aquarium Tribes, Crash Canyon. Well, that sounds good. We got to take a look at a game that's called Crash Canyon. Woo-wee! Look at that cover. This is a game that came out in 1989, and as a kid, I would have definitely been all over getting this one. Ooh, look at that board. We're talking about Fireball Island style board with micro machines. You know what? I'm actually thinking I've seen this one as a kid in the store somewhere. I want this game right now. It has micro machines in it. Oh man, micro machines. I miss those things. Wonder why they went out of business. My kids would like those. Anyhow, that looks like a lot of fun to play. That it's probably, again, it's Milton Bradley. Thing of the past. Knights of the Air. What I said is an airplane game? Knights of the Air is not a bad name though. This looks like a fairly complex airplane game if I can only go by the sheets of counters here. Also, a Zeppelin. So this is World War I. Not a bad looking map, though. Flying over it. Cards aren't looking great. All right, interesting. All right, moving down here, we got Shubidi. I don't know how to pronounce Shubidoo. From Hobby World, and Hook did this one. You want to make a centipede as long as you possibly can. Looks like you're using cards. That sort of thing is fun for kids, you know, to make things that are longer and longer. That's why Ignacio's game with long cows worked really well. Yeah, this one looks pretty neat. Looks like a fun little kids game with dice. Let's see. Bigfoot Says. Okay, I gotta look at that one just for the name. It's Bigfoot Says, the card game. There's not one Bigfoot, not a gaggle of big feet, but an entire community of Bigfootses. I don't think the game looks that good, but it's from Bigfoot Games too. Boy, they put all their money into that one game, I'm sure. Quirks, Donkey, it's a kick. Creedle, the game of dueling dogmas. And then we got Aether, and you gotta be kidding me. So let's take a look at all three of those. Oh, Credo. I've heard of Credo before. So this is a game about the early Christians arguing over the actual precepts of the church, it says. So you are convincing that. So I know some people have a big problem with the idea of this, doing dogmas. And I think the stuff was... I think I would enjoy this game more if they were more of... silly things that you argued over rather than maybe actual things that I might believe in myself. That's interesting though. I like the concept of this one. I've always wanted to look at it. Aether here from 2010. Now this has been a long time. It's an abstract strategy game. And different elements there. Wow, it's a really, really pretty game. And I gave it a 4.5, which means I did not like it much at all. When did I rate that one? 2011. It's been a while. I have to go back. I don't remember the game. I see it looks good. You gotta be kidding me. This one is closer, and you have these different cats or dogs wearing various things. I want to say there was a sequel to this game that you could put together, single accessories. And so you got to be kidding me here. It's a liar thing, and you're basically saying there are 4 glasses on the cards that are out there. There are 6 pink things like that. It works fine. I like it. Let's see here. Scallywags. And then we'll look at Crib Golf. So Scallywags here. This is from Bren Crenshaw. Oh, Scallywags. It's been a long time since I've seen this game. This is a game in which you made this. They did a superhero one, but they made Scallywags first, where you were making different pirates, and you just had, you know, the head, the torso, and the feet. And here's lots of different parts. And it was fun artwork. That's just a fun thing to do. The game itself is not going to light the world on fire, but I like the concept, especially of the art. Crib Golf. This one I've not played, but woo, there's a lot of holes in that board. I guess it's all the different spots that you can hit the golf ball. Wow. Okay, you pick your tee, and then you decide which way you're going to go. They don't ever seem to cross each other, though. Huh. Oh, is it a game based on cribbage and golf? There you go. It's a new way to play cribbage. You're just playing on a golf course. That sounds like bait and switch to me. Alrighty, Dark Matter, Dead Throne Deluxe Edition. Zombie Kids, which I never played, but I did play the sequel to Zombie Kids, Zombie Kids Legacy, or Zombie Kids Deluxe, I think it's called. Dead Throne Deluxe Edition. This is a cool looking game, and it has these spots here to put all these decks of cards. That actually comes in a lid, but it is essentially Talisman, but worse. I highly dislike this game, unfortunately. I thought it was a really cool idea, but you just randomly walk around and see what happens. And there's Zombie Kids. Like I said, Zombie Kids is an interesting game, but I know that they remade it then into a Zombie Kids Deluxe with a Z in it. Oh no, the Z's in this one too. Clue Suspect. That looks like a Clue card game. Guadalcanal and Pooh the card game. All right, so Clue Suspect, yes, that is a Clue the card game. So just the question part of the game. It says there's two other Clue themed games, Clue the card game and Cluedo card game. Huh. I just like these ideas. This was re-implemented by Cluedo Shuffle, which is ranked even lower. We'll get to that one later. Guadalcanal. This came out in 1966, and it is just what you might think. It's about the Guadalcanal battle, the Marines, the Army, and the Japanese. You know, this didn't come out. It's interesting that this came out here some 23 years only 23 years after the actual battle itself. I kind of find that fascinating. Pooh the card game. I am amazed that this game has 1,700 ratings on Board Game Geek, and it's also ranked this low, 11,698. Reason being, it's about throwing poo at other people. It's just a take that game. Literally, that's the whole game. I cannot, you're just flinging poo at each other, and it's, even if you get past that silly theme, it is just a take that game. Was not good at all. And I always look at the last one here. This one's How La. This is the highest piece in the tower. Everyone's building together. That is some funky looking stuff. I approve of how this looks. I wonder what that material is. Is that like metal, plastic, felt? What is it? Interesting. Maybe the description will tell us. They're made of a soft sponge-like material that bends easily. If your new piece bends to touch another piece, it can't be placed. Huh. I'll have to, if I ever come across this one, I guess I'll play it. How La. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is another 100 games that I've gone through. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching and sticking with me thus far. If there's a game here in the list that you thought I should have talked about, or one I did and you want to comment on it, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Tom Bassel, and you've been watching 10,000 and Below on the Dice Tower.